downturn in the economy, they turned it into a 16-year affair. That is, the Great Depression was not over until 1946.
And Japan has now 12, 13 years doing the same thing. And I remember studying those panics, as they called them, and those depressions. They were much shorter. They were much more localized. Back before the Federal Reserve, back before government got involved, back before private interests got involved with government in this unholy alliance. And they promised, we'll never have another run on the bank. We'll never have another recession or depression. And then 1913 to 1929, they then take that depression and just exacerbate it with all the price controls and the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you wanted rather, Martin, the current set of problems that we face now is a direct result of Congress. That is, I always suggest to people that the fundamentals of the American economy are, even now, still reasonably sound. We have this huge problem in the financial sector. The financial sector is a big problem, and it's affecting some other parts of the economy. But Congress is the cause of the problems in the financial sector, particularly those that stem from the subprime loans and the housing market.
It's been enabling it and demanding it and prodding it all along, and then now is enabling it further.
Yes.
$14.8 trillion in 7 months. Bloomberg reported. I mean, my God, that's more than the GDP in 7 months.
That's right. And the American people. I mean, I don't know what to say about my fellow Americans, but they're asking Congress to come and help us out, to change things. That is, to ask Congress to help us, that's very much like seeing a building on fire and you calling the arsons who set it on fire to help you put it out. That's the same thing. And Congress is the cause of these problems. And you know what? And what gets me about I call it stupidity of Americans, or either the ignorance of Americans, is that Congress messed up. This current state of affairs was a result of Congress trying to give us, and the White House, trying to give us affordable housing. Now we're asking Congress to give us affordable health care.
Well, it's unbelievable. Bloomberg reported that $9.3 trillion would pay off all the mortgages in the country. So if it's 14.8 so far, where is all the money going? I mean, this is ridiculous. And they're admitting now that it's driven up mortgage prices because the banks have got all this money. They're just wanting to hoard it or to buy up other banks.
Oh, that's right. And see what Congress should do. You know, what should happen is that people who got in over their heads in the housing market, they bought houses they cannot afford, they should just lose their house and they should be foreclosed on. That is, if I think it was Herbert Spencer said, I believe it was him, it could have been somebody else, that if you protect people from the folly of their ways, you create a nation of fools. And that's what we're doing. We're protecting people from their folly and therefore creating a nation of fools. And see, the problem is that too many of us want to blame politicians for our problems. And yes, we can blame politicians just a little bit. But the bulk of the blame lies with the American people. That is because politicians are doing precisely what American people elect them to office to do. And what do we elect them to office to do? We elect them to office to use the power of their office to take the property of one American and give it to us.
Now, let's shift gears. Let's shift gears, sir, into Barack Obama. Clearly, George Bush, size of government triples. I thought that was bad. Now, under Obama, he's doubling the government in 1 year. If you project that out 10 times by the time he leaves office or even more. So specifically, sir,
I don't know whether that's sustainable, but surely that's what he's doing, and that's what the American people want. That's what they want. Look, if you doubt what I'm saying, what the American people want, let me ask you a question. Now, suppose I, Walter Williams, was running for the United States Senate from Texas, and I go back and forth across the state of Texas telling my fellow Texans, look, I've read the United States Constitution. I know what Congress is authorized to do. And if you elect me to the Senate, don't expect for me to bring back aid to higher education funds, highway construction funds, prescription drugs, Meals on Wheels, do you think I would get elected to the Senate from Texas?
No, because maybe in Texas, but in other states, no, because they don't understand the feds take $1 of our money, send 30 cents back with strings attached.
But you know, see, here's the problem, Alex, is that the people of Texas would be absolutely right not electing anybody who respects the United States Constitution to the United States Senate. The reason why is that, for example, if I am the senator and if I don't bring back billions of dollars to Texans, that doesn't mean that Texans will pay a lower federal income tax.
Exactly.
All that it means is that Oklahoma will get it instead. That is, once legalized theft begins, it pays for everybody to participate.
Oh, that's a great point. I hadn't thought of that. That's what Ron Paul's always saying. They say he's a hypocrite because he votes against the bills, but then the spending bills. But once the money comes in, he says, look, I'm going to earmark this because the money was spent. I mean, now you're paying these taxes. You don't want it to come back for the shrimp fisheries of the Gulf Coast. I mean, I represent the Gulf Coast, and so if I don't take this earmark, it's gonna go to foreign aid or something.
That is absolutely right. So what it makes people who would otherwise be moral, they become immoral. That is because if you don't participate in the legalized theft, you're going to wind up holding the brown end of the stick, if you get what I mean.
Wow. Amazing. Sir, I mean, you've been around a while. You've made a lot of predictions I've seen come true. What do you see happening with Obama with this false hope? He knows government health care isn't going to work. He knows trillions spent is just going to, down the road, make things even worse. I mean, I guess the special interests want all this money, and they're the ones that put him in office. Yeah. But how do you see this ending with Barack Obama and all these people that followed him and believe he's really going to give them a free house, give them a free car? You know, the people you see on TV saying all my problems are solved because of Obama.
You know, I don't know I don't know what to predict. But however, the current state of affairs is unsustainable. I mean, just one aspect. Forget about the health care and all this other spending. It turns out that the unfunded liability of Social Security and Medicare is $101 trillion. Now, what that means when I say unfunded liability, and even the Social Security Administration's report, they say it's the unfunded liability, this huge $101 trillion. What that means is that in order for Congress to make good on the promises it's already made to people who are living today in terms of Medicare and Social Security, they would have to put trillions of dollars in the bank today, earning at least a 6% rate of interest in order to make good for it. And this is not going. They're not going to do that. And according to some estimates, such as the National Center for Policy Analysis in Dallas, Texas, they point out that by 2040, I believe something like, given the current state of affairs, if it continues the way it's going now, that 80% of the federal budget will be spent on Social Security and Medicare.
Amazing. 80%. Let's talk more about that in our final segment with Walter E. Williams, waltereWilliams.com. He is our guest. I hope he'll come back again with us soon. I want to talk to him about GM. Not only is there a bailout of GM, but the bailout money under World Trade Organization rules, part of it has to go overseas, so we're paying to ship it to China and Brazil and Europe. Stay with us.
How would you like to cook any meal using no electricity or gas and cook your meals off the grid? Well, now you can, thanks to the Survival Oven. The Survival Oven is the most amazing off-grid solar oven that can cook anything that a conventional oven can without the energy bills. By condensing sunlight, the Survival Oven can produce temps up to 350 degrees, cook delicious and nutritious meals, sterilize water, dehydrate food, and so much more. All at zero operating costs. The Survival Oven can be used year-round, even in the coldest sub-zero temperatures, and is a must for emergency preparedness and even everyday use. Visit survivaloven.com to get your very own survival oven. Order the Survival Oven now, and we'll get you started with 2 cooking pots and a recipe booklet absolutely free. At less than 10 pounds, you can take Survival Solar Oven with you anywhere. Call 877-642-1553 or go to survivaloven.com. That's survivaloven.com.
Gold. It's like nothing else on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold.